Welcome to another Tom's Take on Takeout. We're at Sidebar, adjacent to the Abood law firm. Andrew Abood, our guest here at Sidebar, along with our co-host Gary Snellenberger, Ted Terzian. I've just realized right now we have two Sexton guys, two Eastern guys. Is this going to work or not?
The Sexton connection is pretty loyal.
That's pretty strong. Sidebar. Now, Sidebar, when I think of Sidebar, Andrew, I come from the journalism industry. A sidebar is that locker room story that goes with the game story. That's what the term sidebar, you probably didn't realize this. But sidebar, in a legal term, would you explain it to our consumers?
So sidebar means that typically when you're in a courtroom, everything is on the record.
Yeah.
And generally when you have a jury in front of you, sometimes the judge wants to talk to just the lawyers without being overheard by the jury, or more likely off the record.
Right.
So the reference to a sidebar means an off the record discussion, generally with the judge.
No jury around.
No, well, they might be in the box, but they'll put the mute button on, so it's just the judge and the two lawyers generally.
You see, that's why I hang around smart people like Andrew Abood, used to have that clearly defined so that I know what sidebar is. But tell us about Sidebar. Well, I mean, this is weird. I mean, you see a law firm and you see a bar, a beautiful bar restaurant in here as I pan inside here, nicely air conditioned in this hot, muggy day. How did this start with you? I mean, what was that motivational moment where I want to have a bar next to our law firm?
About 11 years ago, we were going through a recession for sure with regard to professional office, and I had this building and I was looking for, tenants, and there weren't a ton of tenants out there. And I thought, God, I wonder what it would be like if I put a tenant in here in my own restaurant. And I started thinking about it, and I was just thinking, this would be the only bar in East Lansing on Saginaw. The only bar
That's true.
with a liquor license on the major street in East Lansing. And then I started, there was, at the time it was Zhao, but besides Zhao you had to go, into Lansing. And then if you went the other way, there's the place which used to be Signature over at Parmore where Costco
That's
is.
going way east of this.
Yeah. Besides that, this was it. Now you could count Reno's, which is close by, but not on a major street. So I started thinking it might do okay. And then, the more people told me it was a bad idea, the more I thought it might be a good idea. And
So you're one of those, huh?
so it was a slow process, but we went through some ups and downs. But in March of 2017, we opened up, and for 4 years, it did really well. It did great, and then of course the pandemic hit, and we sort of decided to do a reset, and we're in the middle of that, hopefully.
So Gary Snellenberger, what do you like about Sidebar coming here? The atmosphere is
The
pretty
atmosphere is the place. This is a place for the who's who.
Really?
Especially the who's who in the law business in Lansing area.
Okay.
Very diverse customers, clientele come in here. I really miss the first customer, my old friend James Butler. Boy, he was a great guy. I miss him a lot. But they've got cold drinks, they've got top shelf liquors, they've got great management and great ownership.
Yeah.
Support local.
Yeah, support local. That Gary Snellenberger's creed. Ted Terzian with Andrew Abood, you go back.
Oh, we go way back.
So, and by the way, you look pretty damn dapper right now. Like, when are you due back on the wedding cake, man?
Working today,
Okay,
no, we go way
Mr.
back.
Businessman here.
Obviously, the Abood family. You talk about iconic family in Lansing.
Yeah.
They're just great people, and they've done a great job. It's a great place to come and mingle and see people, and you always walk in and see somebody in here all the time. So just a great place to come.
Yeah. So you were much. You knew Andrew. He was a little guy.
He's what?
Younger.
Probably
married?
4 years behind me, 4 or 5 years.
Mary's age, my
And his sisters were good friends and older brothers.
Okay.
It was
And so
pretty-
we'd go to the house and see them.
Gotcha.
pretty regular occasion. I grew up with 9 siblings, so it was 5 boys and 5 girls, and it was not unusual for there to be a few extras. And Ted was pretty regular, that he'd be sitting across the table from us and enjoying dinner, and he was always welcome at the house. And not all of our friends were always welcome,
But Teddy was welcome.
Ted-
So Ted Terzian was the guy who just kind of crashed people's houses
And you
for
could,
meals?
you could always count on some unbelievable Lebanese.
Oh, yes, indeed. And then the Sexton connection here. Andrew, you standout golfer for the Big Reds and also Michigan State, man. So you bleed green and white right here.
We played golf at Michigan
Yeah.
State.
golf at Michigan State.
Yeah.
We're grateful for the support we get from the Michigan State community, including some of we get a lot of coaches in here from time to time.
Do you?
Yeah, we enjoy it. For a long time, we get many of the coaches and a lot of the Spartan Fun people.
Right. Well, I mean, Abbott right down the street, my word.
Right, they love coming in there, and we love having them.
Absolutely.
I don't want to name any specific name, but
you-
we do get a lot of
Because you'll leave somebody out, you know, they'll be offended by that. You know. So Gary, when we talk about what we've done here with supporting local, the restaurants and everything, we've pretty much hit the cross section of type of restaurants, big ones, small ones. And this is boutique-ish. Would you say that?
I would say this is probably the nicest place we've been in.
That's a strong statement there, Gary.
You know, it's very nice.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, they have top shelf liquors. They've got just a beautiful building inside, a great patio outside.
Right.
It's a very nice facility.
Absolutely. Well, Andrew, I'll tell you what, I appreciate you having us here, and all the best of luck to you. And now that we're post-pandemic, I assume this is really going to pick up. Can you imagine the football season coming up here? Michigan State obviously on their way to winning a national championship, I assume, right?
Looking forward to a full season. And I can tell you, a couple months ago, I was sitting in here with Mel, and I said, "What's the status on being back in the stadium?" And he said, "We expect full capacity." And I know he's really driven, and he's hardworking, and I look forward to a ton of success.
Well,
The guy is really, really in the zone for winning football games and getting good players.
there you go. And you'll all three of you guys, Spartan people, will be proud. And I care more about that team down the road, 63 miles away in Ann Arbor, the Michigan Wolverines. Again, for Tom's Take on Takeout, here at the Abood Law Firm and Sidebar. See you next week.
Thanks for having us.